Hey guys, hello gorgeous. Wanted to start out by giving a huge thanks to He-Man.org. Now I'm a fan of a lot of 80s toys. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Inhumanoids, Bravestar, the list goes on and on. But I gotta say, the best fans of them all are He-Man fans. The response I got on the message boards on He-Man.org was awesome. I want to give them a huge thanks for letting me have my own thread there on the message boards for my 360 swag reviews of the He-Man figures. They were nice enough to retweet my review of the Filmation He-Man figure on Twitter, and they also included it in their newsfeed on the main He-Man.org page. So thank you, Nerdmaste, to He-Man.org for your support. I really appreciate it. And for everybody who watched the reviews and commented, I really appreciate your support. It just makes me want to do more of these, which is what I'm going to do right now. Matty Collector has released their second figure in the Club Grayskull line. The first was He-Man, which I reviewed already, which you can check out right here. And the second is Trapjaw. Now Trapjaw was one of my favorite Masters of the Universe figures growing up. He had so many cool gimmicks. He had the standard waist twist that all the figures had, but he also had the cool interchangeable weapons for his arm, a working trap jaw, and a little loop on his head to use for ziplining. Now after getting the Filmation He-Man, I wasn't sure I was going to keep collecting these Filmation versions of the figures. But I have to say they have a real charm to them. They've got that leapt off the screen feel to them. It's kind of like owning a 3D animation cell. Let's take a 360. Trapjaw comes in the same style of box that the Filmation He-Man came in. The outer covering of the box slides off to reveal the window box, which holds Filmation Trapjaw and his accessories. And this time on the back we have some artwork from the Filmation He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon, featuring Trapjaw in front of Snake Mountain. As a big fan of the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon, I'm actually enjoying these Filmation figures a lot more than I thought I would. For the He-Man figure, as well as this Trapjaw, they've taken a step back in detail in order to match the look of the animated character, but what's lost in detail is made up for in just sheer charm. It's really a different style of figure, and it might not be everybody's cup of tea. It looks a lot more kid-friendly than the original offering, but that might be a good thing if you're buying this for one of your kids. Like the original Matty Collector figure, he comes with 3 attachments for his mechanical arm. The first is his trademark laser, which is actually a new sculpt. And he's got a cool little detail that I talked about in my Malcolm Reynolds 12-inch figure review. There's a hole in the barrel.
Let me give you a hand.
He also comes with a crossbow.
If I can just get this energy bow on, these things never fit right.
And the most powerful fly swatter in the universe.
At last, a chance to try my new swatters.
The original mechanical arm and accessories were cast in black, but this time they're in a light red to match the cartoon look. Like the Filmation figure, he stands great. He's got some nice sturdy ankles. And he's got the same articulation on his mechanical arm. It goes up and down, and in and out. And he's also got the wrist tilt that the Filmation He-Man figure had. Mine is pretty stiff. And the most important point of articulation, his jaw goes up and down. Unfortunately, in order to match the look of the cartoon, some functionality had to be sacrificed. So he doesn't have the loops on his belt like the original release does to hold his extra weapons. Okay, time for some comparisons. Here he is with the original Masters of the Universe Trapjaw. I like that they kept the loop on top of Trapjaw's head. That was one of my favorite features as a kid, feeding a string through there and having him zip line across the room. And here he is with the original Masters of the Universe Classics Trapjaw. As you can see, all the colors on the Filmation version are brighter, except for the green. The green on the Classics version is much brighter. It almost looks like it's glowing. The Classics version has an extra elbow joint on the mechanical arm, which is missing from the Filmation version because he didn't have it in the show. If it's not in the show, it's not in the figure. Comparing the two side by side, you can clearly see that the Filmation version is more fun and goofy looking. The Classics version is kinda creepy, and is much more detailed. There's a lot more sculpting on his mechanical parts, his boots, and his left arm is colored in a metallic blue, whereas on the Filmation version, all of the blue is the same. As you can see, the belt loops on the Classics version come in handy for holding his extra accessories. The one definite advantage that the Filmation version has over the Classics version, though, is the stronger ankles. He is much more sturdy. The Classics version, like many Classics figures, Feels like he's gonna fall over if you breathe on him. As a big fan of the ultra-detailed 2000X He-Man line, I prefer the classics version of Trapjaw for the extra detail. But if you missed out on that one, and you were a big fan of the original cartoon, this one should satisfy your Trapjaw craving. Plus, it's the only way to get the fly swatter attachment, in case he ever runs into sectars. So that's Filmation Trapjaw. Share your thoughts, scroll down and go to town, and to join the Nerd Tribe, hit subscribe. Nerd must stay!